everybody. It's the Mountaineers Now postgame show. I'm Schuyler, Callihan. Joined with me is Christopher Hall. West Virginia getting blown out on the road in Austin, Texas, to the number 5 team in the country, the Texas Longhorns, 94-60. Let's waste no time and get right into the numbers. Serge Jabari-Rice leading all scorers off the bench, or actually he wasn't a starting lineup. 24 points, 4-5 from the field, but 10 for 10 from the free throw line. That was a big factor for, well, one of the many factors in Texas's win today. They were 24 of 25 from the line as a team. Marcus Carr going for 22. And for West Virginia, Emmett Matthews, the only double-digit scorer on the day with 13 points. He was 5 of 9 from the field. Turnovers, a big one in this one. Just like the last matchup, West Virginia turned it over 20 times. So that's 40 turnovers in 2 losses to Texas, Chris. I mean, it's almost unthinkable. I mean, it's like this team seems to start finding their way. They start finding their groove, and then it lasts for 2 games, and then it goes back to what they do in their old habits. So I don't know what to make of this game.
Texas is really good. They're the 5th team in the country. If they weren't in the Big 12, they'd be number 1. I mean, their only loss at home was to Kansas State. They went on the road last week and avenged that loss. That's a really good Texas team. They're probably going to make a really deep run in NCAA tournament. They're weak. They're weak on the front court when you're thinking of terms of one of the top teams in the country. That's a really good Texas team. They shot it well. They were obviously more comfortable on their home floor. I mentioned the 20 turnovers both games. They just shot it better at home. Not really overthinking this one. I didn't expect them to win. Wasn't really surprised by the blowout again because Texas is really good. That's a really good guard team. It'll be interesting what they can do in the postseason, but not really thinking about this one too much. It is what it is. They're good. West Virginia is they're West Virginia. They're not going to go on a road and beat a team like that right now. Maybe in a month at a neutral site, possibly, but right now they're not going to win a game like that.
Well, and that's problematic because here in about 48 or so hours, they're going to be playing against another top 15 team in the country in Baylor on the road. So how do they flush this one and move on to Baylor? I mean, did they even stand a chance in this game? I mean, as bad as they played today, I mean, Baylor's no joke either.
No, they've actually lost 1 game. I was fortunate enough to start looking ahead to Baylor since this game was such a blowout. And West Virginia and Baylor, they both started off 0-3 in conference play, and Baylor I think is 8-1 since then, 7-1, something like that. They've only lost 1 game. They ripped off 6 straight wins, so they're playing really well. Got a great freshman guard, obviously. And George Bridges, I think, has hit double figures almost every game since then. So you got Cryer, you got Flag. I mean, go down the list of guys like potential all 12 team, all Big 12 teams on the all Big 12 team. So it's not going to be easy. Don't expect them to win that game either. They're just going to have to take care of home court, which also isn't going to be easy. Like every team's ranked except for Texas Tech, so they've got a long way to go. They're still a work in progress. Obviously, you'd like to see a little bit more assertiveness from Trey Mitchell, a little bit more confidence. He seems to have just lost. He's not even looking at the basket. They're really going to need him to step up here in a few weeks if they want to try to make some noise in the tournament. I don't think anyone was ever expecting them to go win a national championship or even make a really like a Final Four push. But for them to get past the opening weekend, they're going to need Trey Mitchell. They're going to need Steven. They're going to need everybody. You can see they're still trying to find their leadership. Who is that dog on the road? They just haven't found it yet. Stevenson obviously had a bad game. Again, credit Texas. That's a really good, fast Texas team. To me, I know the standings really hasn't reflected it, but if you look at the Big 12, I would say Kansas and Texas are your 2 teams. If you're looking at 2 teams that are the best teams, it's those 2. They're all fast. They're all really good at the guard. I think their only weakness right now, like I said, is just really the front court. They're gonna need someone to really step up and play big underneath. They want to make a push for a title.
Yeah, I think Texas is good enough to make a Final Four run. I really do. I think they could win the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. I think they could make it.
North Carolina, I know they're not playing well, but you got Baycott underneath. They have the guards to run with them, so it's about matchup. 100%. Because they don't have that front court. They don't have that presence underneath. If the guards are off, who are they going to throw it to underneath? So they really haven't had to do that because they have guys that can attack the rim from the backcourt to get kind of those easy looks. So it'll be interesting. I think it's going to be an interesting tournament as it is, just with how basketball's kind of changed. But yeah, I just kind of chalk this one up as is what it is. Texas, Baylor surging. I don't know if it's going to be a 30-point loss, but I don't imagine West Virginia really being in the game in the final 5 minutes.
So with Trey Mitchell, though, I guess this is the last topic we'll kind of touch on. I mean, he's been in a rut here recently, and obviously today going back and playing his former team maybe had something to do with it. But I mean, this has kind of been a little bit of a slump for him. Is there anything that you've seen on either end of the floor that you've noticed as a reason why he has struggled?
It's all mental. He's in his head, overthinking. I think I say it about almost every kid this year. He's just in his head. He needs to be offensive oriented. He needs to look at the rim. He's trying to pass it before he's even looking.
Yeah, right out of bounds. No one's there.
He's not even looking who he's passing to. Not look at the rim. So he's got to be that triple threat. When he gets the ball, attention's already on him. He's got to be stronger with it. It's just a confidence thing, a mental thing. He's good enough that he can play out of it. You just hopefully he can play out of it in the next couple of weeks because West Virginia's going to have to take care of home court if they want to get into the postseason. You'd like to see them still win on the road here in the final month. Probably not going to be likely. It's going to be it's a tough task, and you already asked them a lot for them to protect home court. So they need them, especially if they're going to have to go steal a win or two out in Kansas City. They're going to need them. Can't just rely on Stevenson to hopefully put up 30 points a game. It's good to see Emmett playing well. I know most of his points came in the first half, but he's 5 of 9, he's taking care of the ball better. So really, what this team misses is a point guard. Like he's a good, he's more than formidable at point guard. He's just not a true point guard. And you see it time and time again when they need the offense to get into the rhythm. They just don't have a guy that can get the ball where it needs to be, or maybe drive the basket. Key does do that at times, but it's not really what he's built for. Don't know if Jose would have been what he would have added because we didn't get to see him play at this level. But today's like today, you're like, well, it would have been nice to see what Jose could bring because when they're off, man, they are just off, and they just cannot find any rhythm on offense, and it really starts with the point guard. You don't have a point guard to distribute the ball, you get it to guys when they're open. You kind of get results like this. If you're in the ACC, maybe you're not playing the top 5 team. So just kind of is, feast or famine. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard to score when you can't pass it to the guy in the paint or down on the block. So if you're throwing the ball out of bounds constantly, I mean, like Huggins said in his post game with Tony Caridi, like, yes, Texas's defense was pretty good and at times very good, but a lot of these turnovers were just careless, not really focusing on where to pass the ball and kind of making low percentage passes. We talk about low percentage shots all the time. We're talking low percentage passes. The Trey Mitchell one where he's trying to keep the ball swinging. The Eric Stevenson one comes to mind where he's just trying to hurry up and get the ball up the court. I mean, those passes are going to get completed at a very, very low rate. So
that's Texas speed defense. I mean, they're just speeding. They speed you up so well with their words. I mean, that's just part of their defense. So, yeah, Texas is good.
That's what we took away from this. Texas is really damn good. So Longhorns,
we get to play at Kansas too, so expect another one like that because they're faster than Texas. They're faster and they can shoot the ball better. So it's going to be a rough final stretch here for a couple games.
It is. So we'll see if West Virginia can steal one on the road before returning home for 2. Again, West Virginia Baylor, 9:00 on Monday night. We'll have the post-game show here for you on Mountaineers Now. Hit that subscribe on YouTube at Mountaineers Now, and on Twitter, follow us at Mountaineers Now as well. So for Christopher Hall I'm Schuyler Callihan. We'll be back here Monday night to break everything down.